Boy, there's a new twist with this Rayshard Brooks case out of Atlanta. So the police officer that was charged and arrested, Garrett Rolfe, okay, he's the former Atlanta police officer, had been accused of violating his bond by going on vacation in Florida. Now, anybody who has, has some, time dealing with the law and you have been on bond, has any judge told you can go leave the state and go on vacation? Because most people probably would say no to that. So now they're saying he can face imprisonment for violating the terms of the agreement, the Fulton County District Attorney has said. So, of course, Rolfe faces 11 charges, including felony murder for shooting Brooks in the parking lot in the Atlanta Wendy's restaurant on June the 12th. The conditions of his $500,000 bond granted June 30 require that he was only allowed to leave home for medical, legal, or work-related obligations. It said that he is also obligated to observe a curfew that requires he not leave his home between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Well, if you just listen to that alone, it does not say you go to the another state for vacation. It had nothing to do with his medical, it had nothing to do with his legal, it had nothing to do with anything else. OK, and you can't say medical because they got enough doctors in Georgia. So you can't pull that mess. Right now, they said after the office was notified that Rolfe left the state for a short vacation, Paul Howard, the district attorney, that's, definitely running and we want the brother to win, filed a motion to revoke the former officer's bond. And so his Rolfe's attorney, Bill Thomas, has sent an email on August the 3rd notifying the office of the former cop's travel plans. Wait a minute, hold on. If then people say you don't leave your house except to go to the doctor, to go to your lawyer's office, or to any work-related obligations, and you have a curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., why are you emailing them and telling them he going out the state? I guess y'all just say like, F it. We ain't paying attention to that, right? Now, anybody else have been locked up quick. So they said upon checking the travel records, the state of Georgia found that he arrived in Florida on August the 2nd. They said the state was not aware of his travel intentions beforehand, nor it have knowledge of any special permissions that would have allowed him to leave the state. So as of Wednesday, they say it was unclear whether Rolfe had a return to Atlanta. Said D.A. Howard said Rolfe has clearly shown that he would not abide by the condition of the bond set by the court and asked the judge to revoke his bond. And they better, because people have had their bond revoked for a whole lot less. Now, Tamika Miller, which is Rayshard Brooks' widow, said she was baffled when she learned the officer who shot her husband had violated his bond. She said, I'm hurt. And again, I'm just wondering when would justice be served? When would things change? Now, that cop's attorney claimed that the judge never said he could not leave the state, while Miller's attorney, Chris Stewart, says the judge was very clear that Officer Rolfe was not supposed to leave the state. Now, of course, the cop is suing, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Bottoms and the interim police chief for alleging that his rights were violated when he was fired from the police department, saying that he was acting within the scope of his duties when he shot Rayshard Brooks. Now, this is the thing. Come on, man. I mean, this dude here, no, he need to go to jail. It ain't no explanation of that. I mean, what kind of attorney do you have to tell you that, well, you leaving out the state and not advise you, say, hey, you can't do that according to this order. You can't go nowhere. When did they let anybody do that? Just leave out the state anytime they get good and ready. That's not a normal thing. So, yes, he needs to have his bond revoked and he needs to go sit his behind in jail until his trial. And it's nobody's fault but his own. And he wanted to go to Florida. That is definitely a coronavirus hotbed. Maybe he got the corona while he was out there. We don't know. But he decides to do that. So, yes, revoke his bail. Definitely. District Attorney Paul Howard and the judge revoke it. Make him go sit down and let him think about that little vacation he took. He could have been at his house until the trial. But no, he wanted to go to Florida where he should pay the consequences like anybody else. But leave me a comment. Let me know anything about the situation that happened with this case. This cop just have no regard, anything for the courts. And that's usually how, a lot of the white supremacists act, the race soldiers. They feel like they ain't above the law.